I told you, we're going to talk about a movie I don't like. Today we're discussing Repo, the genetic opera. So you might be asking yourself, Imperial Nick, why are you reviewing a movie that you don't like? And why are you telling us you don't like it in the first place before even jumping into the review? And there's a very particular reason that I'm going this route with this video. And that's because this movie had the potential to be fantastic. It had the potential to be fucking amazing. Everything was there. They had a, for the most part, wonderful cast. It had a really badass concept. The aesthetics were amazing. The scenes were awesome. The visuals, the music. And yet, it still failed. And today, my notebook and I are going to talk about Repo, the genetic opera. So let's get started. What is Repo, the genetic opera? I just actually watched it for the 4th time in a week to make sure that this review was as accurate as humanly possible, because I wanted to make sure that you understood the entire reason why I despise this movie for the most part. There's always a for the most part. So Repo, the genetic opera takes place, I believe, in 2056. The world had a plague that was causing organ failures. Geneco, founded by Roddy Largo, who was played by Paul Sorvino, who is a trained opera singer, FYI, starts creating artificial organs that they can sell. Now this might sound familiar to you because they are able to repossess it if you fall behind on your payments, much like the 2010 Repo Men. But this came out in 2008, and before that it was actually a stage play written by Terrance Zdunich. I can't pronounce his name correctly, but some of his other work includes the Devil's Carnival series, as well as Repo, the musical, the theater musical, and he also directed, wrote, and produced, partially helped with all of that, Repo the Genetic Opera, the movie. Roddy Largo creates the company. It starts with this really cool comic book intro. I'll see if I can find a GIF of it. A really cool comic book intro explaining the history of the world and giving you a sense of the aesthetic. It's like a mix of steampunk and future and Victorian era. So you have Victorian era photos, but they're holograms, which is actually pretty cool. And the outfits are Victorian era. And when this movie came out, 18-year-old Imperial Nick was still in his edgelord phase, which we all went through, and thought that this movie would be absolutely amazing. It's done by Twisted Films, who did all kinds of cool little horror films, as well as Lionsgate. I think actually those are connected. Lionsgate and Twisted Films might be the same thing. I'm not 100% sure. You'd have to ask Lumberjack Nick. He knows way more about the behind-the-scenes stuff than I ever will. The story jumps forward after he founds it, and the cool comic book intro to Shiloh Wallace, played by Alexa PenaVega, who is in Spy Kids, by the way. And she's a singer, but she was in Spy Kids. She played the little girl in Spy Kids, which that movie's on Netflix now too, or is it Amazon Prime? One of those two. We might review that movie because that movie is an interesting movie to say the least. But she is kept by her father basically in a plastic bubble. Her father is played by Anthony Head. His name is Nathan Wallace in the movie, and Anthony Head was he played Rupert in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's her father. He is also the Repo Man, as it turns out. So Roddy discovers that he has an incurable disease. Not even Geneco can save him, and he's trying to figure out exactly who to leave Geneco to, because his children, Amber Sweet, Luigi Largo, and Pavi Largo, are complete royal fuck-ups. Like, complete royal fuck-ups. Amber is addicted to this drug called Z. It, like, glows blue. We learn it from a song sang by Terrance himself. He plays the grave robber, who is also the narrator of the story. And it's kind of meta, and it breaks the fourth wall, and that's not the issue I have with this movie. Luigi Largo is played by Bill Moseley, who played Otis in The Devil's Rejects. He's also in the show Devil's Carnival. I believe he plays the magician. And Nikov Ogre plays Pavi, the other son, who's actually the lead singer of Skinny Puppy. He's also in The Devil's Carnival, which is also an edgy 17-year-olds love this kind of gothic movie. Now, we're getting to my problem now. We are getting to my problem with this movie, because the movie's cringe. Hands down is cringe. If you're a teenage edgelord, this is the movie for you. I will not bash it. The story is okay. The plotting is okay. The scenes, the imagery, and a lot of the music is actually pretty fantastic if you can get past the meta, breaking the fourth wall cringiness of it. But I blame that more on the fact that it was a stage production before it was a movie. So I can get past some of that. I cannot get past this last bit, and that is who plays Amber Sweet, the daughter. You guys ready for this? Are you ready for this? Because the only good movie she has ever been in is when she got skewed to death in the House of Wax remake. And that is Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton is in this movie. She sings in this movie, and I don't know if you know anything about Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton can't sing. I YouTubed her singing career. It is atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Bill Moseley can't sing all that well either. But when Paris Hilton sings in this movie, it totally pulls you out of the movie. Like, yes, the movie's cringy. The movie is full of edgelordness, and if you're a teenager and you're into edgy things, I get it. I was a teenager that was edgy too. I was 18 when this movie came out, and to be 100% honest, I thought I was going to love it. But Paris Hilton ruined it. Absolutely ruined it. Now, watching it 4 times in the last week, there were moments where I cringed pretty hard. There were moments where my fiance came upstairs and said, "What are you watching?" And when I said Repo, the Genetic opera, she looked at me and said, "I thought you were past this." I told her it was for research, and it is. But by the 3rd time, can you really say it's just for research? Absolutely. You can absolutely say it was for research. It was for research. It was a terrible movie. You would think that Sarah Brightman, who plays Blind Mag, would counter the terribleness of Amber Sweet, played by Paris Hilton, because her vocalizations, her music, especially the duet she did with Shiloh in front of Shiloh's house, and she's projecting a hologram out of her eye, would completely make up for this. But she only has like 2 singing parts in the movie, and the 2 singing parts cannot for the life of the movie cancel out Paris Hilton's bad acting, her terrible singing, and just her absolute cringiness. Otis, I can believe that Luigi Largo, played by Bill Moseley, who played Otis, is an angry older son, the eldest son. I believe that he's angry. He plays an angry character. He's pissed off. He has the voice for it. He has the acting history for it. Absolutely believable. I listened to the Skinny Puppies between the first and second movie, and I absolutely believe that Nivok Ogre can play Parvi Lago. It makes sense to me. It completely makes sense. I can completely believe that Paul Sorvino is Roddy Largo, an older Italian-American who founded a company, kind of mafioso. He's got these 2 nurses that follow him around with 12-gauge shotguns. I believe it completely. The opera singer, Sarah Brightman, plays Blind Mag. Blind Mag is famous for being an opera singer in the movie. She pulls it off. Completely believable. Terrance Zdunich, I'm not really familiar with a lot of his work. He just does the part so well that I can believe that he is this sneaky grave robber who also kind of acts like a trickster throughout the entire movie. I believe it. He's the one breaking the fourth wall. He's the one being meta. He's the one explaining everything to the audience, and when he does unreasonable things, it's believable because he's already set himself up as this character. I believe that Alexa PenaVega, based on her filmography, based on the things she's done in the past, is this naive, innocent, I don't know what's going on actually in the world. I can believe that Nathan Head, who plays Nathan Wallace, is this two-faced kind of dude. He's a sweet, loving father to Shiloh, and he's also a brutal Repo man. the only Repo Man. And he can kind of sing. I can believe that. What I cannot believe is that Paris Hilton has aspirations to be a singer. I should be able to believe it because she tried to pull it off. I should be able to believe that she would be the narcissistic, rich daughter who has had everything given to her always and whines to get her way. But in the universe that has been created, it pulls me directly out of the story. It pulls me completely out of the story for me to even believe that Amber Sweet could take Blind Meg's spot as the singer for Geneco, and I can't get over that. The storyline itself isn't that strong. Girl is held hostage basically by her dad, rebels, gets out, leading to one of the most cringy songs, and that's the thing. Amber can pull me out of the story, and that sucks, and I cannot forgive the movie for that. It's got these moments that are just so cringy. I had to fast forward through them during the third and fourth watching because it was just so absolutely cringy, I could not get over it. And that is the second reason I hate this movie, is it's okay to be edgy. For what the movie is, and for the target demographic of the movie. It's okay to be edgy. I get that. But to be just absolute cringy, oh my god, Shiloh does this song and dance, just channeling Avril Lavigne. I'm not even kidding you. She had like a little rock band. Her like Victorian gown turned into like this early 2000s Avril Lavigne punk pop getup. And she's like jumping around singing, hey, 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 hey. Just like an Avril Lavigne song, and it's just so cringe. You go from beautiful opera singer, especially when Blind Meg is singing. The movie should have been about Blind Meg. I would have watched it and probably enjoyed it. But this beautiful opera singing, and then it goes to like this post-pop punk Avril Lavigne cringe song, and it's like 3 or 4 minutes long. I'm gonna see if I can find a gif of the scene because it's just so absolutely bad. It's terrible. It's so cringy. There's so many of these cringe moments. When Paris Hilton is trying to be seductive with her 2 male bodyguards in bondage harnesses, she just doesn't pull it off. It's just so cringy. Makes my face turn red and makes me fast forward through the scene because it's too much. Repo, the genetic opera, had the potential to be this amazing goth opera, which is a line from the movie, with its imagery and its scenes and the special effects that they had chosen. And I feel like they torpedoed it by making it like a cringe lord's dream starring Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton has way more screen time in this movie than she should, and there's way too much screen time giving to cringe moments. Again, I can get over the edgelord shit. We're all edgelords. Underworld is a movie series, so we're all edgelords. Okay? Plus Kate Beckinsale is awesome. But those movies don't have the level of cringe. We're talking Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey level of cringe in these movies. I actually think Kristen Stewart would have been a better actress for this than Paris Hilton. So do I recommend seeing this movie? Yes, I absolutely do recommend seeing this movie at least once and making your own judgment call on it. Personally, I don't like it, and I have outlined the reasons I don't like it. Really, it comes down to several cringy moments and Amber Sweet being played by Paris Hilton. Those are really the only 2 reasons I don't like the movie. I actually kind of enjoy the story. If it was in comic books form or it was a book, I would totally read it, just because I still read a lot of the darker gothic kind of stories like Carnacki Ghost Hunter. If you guys haven't read Carnacki, go check out Carnacki. I read a ton of Lovecraft, Edgar Allan Poe, like all those edgelord BS. Like I still get a kick out of it. I still watch a lot of it. Hell, I was listening to The Cure and Sisters of Mercy before I even started this video. And if you see my t-shirt, which actually this shirt's available, I'll link it down below. I'm into that kind of stuff. I can get over the edginess. I dig it for the most part. I know a lot of people don't. If it gets too edgelordy, I can't watch it. Underworld is an example of too edgelordy. I cannot watch the Underworld series. But you mix Amber Sweet with the cringe, I can't do it. Watch it, judge for yourself, leave me in the comments. What did you think of Repo, the Genetic Opera? If you haven't seen it, what's your take on it based on the story I told and the gifs I've shared with you? Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you know right when we upload. We upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Lumberjack's video is coming out on Wednesday, and I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. This is Imperial Nick signing out. Bye!